You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
You're listening to the Oklahoma Onstage podcast, where we sit down with the people who make the magic happen on and off stage in the Oklahoma theater scene. We're glad you've joined us. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and our website is oklahomaonstage.com. You can send us any comments or questions to oklahomaonstage@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, give us a rating and review and share it with those you know. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? Grab a snack and a drink and take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Oklahoma on stage, the stories come alive. With drama, dance, and music, the arts always thrive. From center stage to backstage lore, Oklahoma on stage, there's always something more.
Welcome back, everybody, to Oklahoma On Stage, your go-to spot for all things theater in the state of Oklahoma. We are sitting here today, in the lovely Ponca Playhouse with my guests here today, Mr. Todd Stuart, Miss or Mrs.?
Ms.
Okay, Ms. Karen Mason. I always try to ask that ahead of time, and I missed that, so I apologize. A couple of board members from the Ponca Playhouse that are going to kind of fill us in on just some of the happenings and past happenings and all of that kind of stuff with the Ponca Playhouse. So we're just going to just jump right into this. If you guys don't have a problem with that, we ask the elephant in the room, how did you get started in theater?
Well, let's see. That would go back to the late 60s for me. I played the North Wind in a school production of The Lad in the North Wind, and I've been talking ever since, pretty much. You can ask anybody that knows me. But
I was the Sunny Sunflower in the grade school production of, what was the one, Lorian? Anyway, that was where I was bit. And I had this little thing around my face and a little flower petals out here, and I was a goner on stage one time. That was it. You know how it works.
I did a couple of shows in high school back in the early 80s, and then I did college here and there, did a couple of college shows, and then I pretty much took about a 25-year break until I moved to Stillwater in 2001 and got involved with, or in 2002 rather, got involved with the Town and Gown Theater down there. I know you talked to Renee Perry from there a while back. And did some shows with them. My career took me out of radio, which I did for 27 years, and into the casino industry. And now here in Ponca City, got involved at the Playhouse in 2011, and been having fun doing it ever since.
So you said you were involved here since 2011. How long have you been a board member?
I've been a board member 5 years. This will be I'm in my last year right now. We do 2 3-year terms. And then we're term limited. We can sit out a year and come back if we're needed to or asked. And so that's basically.
They allowed you back?
Well, maybe.
And then the question is, will you accept?
If needed, I would rise to the challenge. But there's a lot of talented people here, and we've got a lot of new board members that are due to being board members at the Playhouse, and it's always good to have new blood and fresh ideas rotating in from time to time, and that way we don't get set in our ways. And
A little depth in our lineup.
Absolutely, yeah. New blood is always welcome in the theater. So Karen, how long have you been involved with Ponca Playhouse.
It was in my first Ponca Playhouse production in 1982. It was 3 men on a horse, and I think statistics brought to light that it was the least attended play in the history of this theater. There's some big snowstorm that weekend or something, but that was it. Long time ago.
So much going on.
Yeah, 43 years. Jeez, I'm old.
See, even during COVID, we only actually missed one weekend of shows. We were doing Bell Book and Candle and we just got our first weekend of Bell Book and Candle in the books. And that's when the world shut down for COVID back in 2020. And so we had to cancel the second weekend of that. We ended up doing a summer show that was just one act that we rehearsed in masks and then performed to an empty playhouse, and we streamed it live and raised money with that. And then what had been our musical plan for the spring of 2020, The Sound of Music, we ended up moving it to the first show of that following fall, and we did it up the street at the Ponca Theater because they have a 700 seat capacity, so we could still social distance and still have a good attendance for the production. But
well, it's good that you had that opportunity. That's really good. So what are some of the financial challenges that you, being the treasurer of the board, what are some of the financial challenges that you faced, or some success stories that have shaped your time as the board member?
Well, as far as financial challenges go, it's pretty much, I'm sure that most theaters, whether they be community theaters, even semi-professional and professional theaters, it's all about fundraising, all about, where your money's coming from. Here at the Ponca Playhouse, we rely really heavily on grants, and also we rely on our member ticket sales and sponsorships from area businesses and organizations. And we've had a pretty good balance of that throughout the years. After COVID, our membership, just like a lot of theaters, have experienced a little bit of a drop in some of the season ticket holders, but those have been slowly building back. And with the season we've got coming up, I think we're going to really even expand on it more.
Oh, it's an excellent season. I love this.
And we'll get to that in just a few minutes. So, so talking about seasons or productions and everything, you're currently in the midst of producing The Odd Couple.
Correct.
Here on stage. According to my information, it opens September 12th. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You have a director here that's previously directed other shows like August Osage County. So what drew you to bring about The Odd Couple?
Well, that would be a good question for our place selection people. And were you on that this year?
I was.
Okay. I think one of the driving factors was that we wanted to do shows, a mix of shows that kind of made you think, and also do some shows that we knew were going to get, people coming to the theater.
Name recognition.
Yeah, Neil Simon's a very recognizable playwright, and Odd Couple is I would say, a beloved show, and it's really funny. I mean, I was talking to some people in the community last weekend at a store, and they're like, "Oh, I love that movie when Walter Matthau gives a certain line," and I told him, "Well, spoiler alert, that line's in the show, so make sure you bring your family and come see it." And so, yeah, there's a challenge because we have a lot of talented directors that call the Playhouse home, and a lot of them want to bring new shows, new ideas. And I kind of harken back to the days when I was in radio. Whenever you're introducing something new to your audience, you have to make sure that you protect that new thing and you protect your brand by putting something familiar on either side of it. So that way people, if there's too much unfamiliar, if it's on radio, people might tune out and go somewhere else. And so you want to introduce them to new shows and new concepts, but at the same time, you want to make sure they stay comfortable. And so that's what we try to do. We do a mix, usually 2 dramas, 2 comedies, and a musical every year. We've changed that up a little bit for this season. We'll get to it in a bit, but we're actually doing 2 musicals this year. But again, mixture of comedy and drama. And it's the formula has seemed to work for us in the past, and we wanted to, again, this is our 67th season we're going into, and so we wanted to do something and start off the year with a show that people are familiar with, that'll get them, if they haven't been to the theater in a while, come see us.
So different theaters have different processes in putting these seasons together. Do you guys go about the process? Like I said, I hear there's one side of the coin where they will open up to let directors present what they want to direct, and then you select from that. Other theaters like, hey, we'll put our season together. You pick if you want to direct one of those shows. Do you prescribe to either one of those?
Let me answer that.
Sure, go right ahead.
I think we go through the process pretty well. We have the reading committee, and then we come up with suggestions. Then we start talking about the season recommendation committee, and we meet about that. And I think we've tried, and this year I think successfully, if there's a director that's just stomping at the bit to do something, and he or she has been successful for us before, there's no reason not to consider that.
Absolutely.
To me, we don't want the directors running our theater. We run our theater, but we're reasonable people.
Absolutely.
And if it works with certain directors that have given us a good product in the past, there's no reason not to consider what they have in mind for us if we agree on the
That makes sense.
choice.
Makes sense. So you're going into your 67th season.
That is correct. We've been going since 1959.
That's a long time. That's a very long time.
They used to say we were the longest contiguous. What's that word?
Continuously running, theater. One of the oldest continuously running theater operations in the U.S. I can't find where I can back that up, but we haven't. Like I said, even during COVID, we haven't taken a break since 1959 when they did their first 2 shows in their inaugural season.
Well, that's pretty impressive. So, just you told me this just before we were coming on the air. 120 seat black box theater, just as you said a while ago, known for comedy, drama, and musicals. Information I have says that you offer workshops for playwriting, makeup, and dance. Is that correct?
We haven't done that in recently, but we have in the past. I think the last one we did was maybe 2021. We did. We have a very talented actor here named Dana Willoughby, and she does wonders with stage makeup, especially in terms of like wounds and creatures. And Dana came and did a workshop for us. We also have one of our directors, Nathan Osterly, is a professional trained stage combat person. And so he has done workshops on that as well. We've had other workshops on intimacy, and we probably need to put together some workshops here coming up because, again, we haven't done that in a little while.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, and that's not a guarantee, we used to put into the director's contract that they needed to do a workshop and they needed to do something with the schools. And that hasn't been part of the contracts for quite a while, I don't think. But we did that, and I don't think that's such a bad idea either.
No.
Well, yeah, that's why we're called community theater, right?
That's right. That's right.
And when we have shows that we can tie into the community with schools, with education, that we certainly invite them to come and bring their students for extra credit, maybe to see one of the performances. We did that last season or season before. We did The Tempest. And so we had a lot of school kids that either volunteered as ushers and then got to see the show for free, or they came for our student rate for the show and attended that way. And my wife, who's a talented director in her own right, she is an English teacher at Ponca City High School now. And so she's already had some of her kids come and see the shows this past season. So it works out because the kids that are coming through school, they're our future actors,
absolutely,
set voters, board members. So
absolutely,
we try to get them in when they're young.
If we don't feed the next generation, this
absolutely
medium is going to die. So
yeah,
course, I heard someone say here a while back, it's the longest running medium that's been on death's door, but has refused to die or something like that. So theater has been something that's been one foot in the grave for a long time.
People say that about radio too, but radio finds a way to rebound, and so does theater.
Absolutely. There's always something to bring it back.
And one of the things I enjoy about it now, you asked me about what got me into it, but one of the things that I enjoy about theater now is I work in a regulatory environment, and so I don't get a lot of chance to get out and entertain people at work because. And it's not when they see me coming, they run the other way. But if they see me coming, they know that I'm there to make sure that they're doing things the way they're supposed to be. And it's a fairly serious thing. And so I don't have a chance to be expressive. And so the community theater has given me a chance to have that side of me come forward a little bit. And it's just a lot of fun to get out and let your hair down and absorb yourself into a role.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I grew as a kid. I always said it was a great time just to be somebody else for a little while.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so let's talk about the history of Ponca Playhouse. Again, we said it was founded in 1959, and neither one of you were there. So, do you know any of the stories about why or how this was founded?
It was good old Phillips Petroleum Company, Conoco Phillips. They really were our driving force of having a community theater in this town. Before it was called the Ponca Playhouse, I think they just called it Conoco Players. I'm not positive, but I think we started out having our shows in the Civic Center, and now it is our iconic, beautiful city hall downtown with the fountain in front. We got to rent that place for $1 a year from the city.
Wow.
We could rehearse there. We could store our costumes there, props, everything. I mean, you talk about a deal. And then it started crumbling and the ceiling started falling in. And then all of a sudden somebody decided, this is not a safe place to gather. We're going to condemn it. And they did. And of course, they turned it into this beautiful building that it now is. But then that kind of left us in a spot. We, for a few years, performed at the Ponca Theater downtown. And, it's a fabulous place. But that was not sustainable. We couldn't afford to pay the rent that they required. Plus, if we were going to do 2 weekends, we couldn't be in there for 2 weekends because they had other stuff going on through that week.
And that's how we came about purchasing the facility that we're in now.
Right.
This was originally purchased. It's 2 blocks south of Grand, where the Ponca Theater is. And this space was used to rehearse and to build sets. And the sets had to be built where they could be broken down and transported by truck and trailer 2 blocks up the street and loaded onto the proscenium stage there at the Ponca Theater.
Wow.
So, and then it had to be torn down after the first weekend and then brought back for the second weekend run of shows. And eventually, people, I think, got tired of moving back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
And so,
Tremendous or what?
Yeah.
plus with the additional rent and everything. And so they ended up building out the theater space here. And we've been here ever since.
I was president in 2007 and 8 and 2008 and 9, those seasons. And that's when we were really focusing on putting this space together. We came up with a design for the movable modules so we can reconfigure the space. We got the chairs that are out there. They were donated by a Tulsa theater that was upgrading. So we took a U-Haul, we went down there and we threw all those red chairs in the back of this. It was exciting, challenging, but very exciting time for us getting ready to open this place up. I remember we opened our first show in this building. It was Tuesdays with Maury, and it was 2009. And they were literally rehearsing And 2 or 3 of us were out here in the lobby painting, and the director would say, God, that stinks. We got to do this. They were painting, and then I'm in there between scenes, pasting the letters on the fronts of the modules for seating assignments. I mean, it was down to the wire, boy.
Wow.
It was doing much more. God bless her. And but we had it ready, and it was a wonderful show. Wonderful show. That was exciting times, I think.
And if you've never been to the Ponca Playhouse, one of the unique things about this, with it being a black box theater, is those seating sections. They came up with a design, wonderful, talented local volunteer that's been involved with the Playhouse off and on for decades, named Jose Cervantes. He actually supervised the construction of these 6 seating sections, and each one holds about 19 seats, and they all are on casters, and so you can put a pallet jack behind them.
Yeah, you
Throw
pallet jack in this.
a few people in for ballast, and you can move those around anywhere on this floor that you want to. So when you come to see The Odd Couple and then come back for our next show, the seating could be completely different from what you remembered for The Odd Couple. But it gives us a lot of flexibility that a lot of theaters, don't have.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we talked a little bit a while ago about, you were talking about directors getting involved with schools and things like that. So what kind of a role does the Playhouse play in the community of Ponca City?
Well, we try to get out and, encourage people to take advantage of live theater and the arts. I mean, Ponca City's art community has really started to build and thrive in the last decade. And there's a wonderful organization here, City Arts, and Ponca City Arts and Humanities. They are bringing in shows and scheduling activities, events. We have an arts festival. We had the what do they call it? The mural festival. Crazy. Can't remember the name of it, but there's a Sunny Days mural festival that was that I think moves around to different cities in Oklahoma every year. And last year it was in Ponca City, and so for about a week to 10 days, there were people from all over the state here painting murals all over downtown.
Wow.
And so there's a lot to do and see with the arts here, and Ponca Playhouse has been a big part of that over the decades, and we hope to continue that for years to come. And again, we try to market and let schools know what we're doing. We advertise in not only Ponca City media, but we also hit our outlying communities, Tonkawa, Blackwell, even up into Ark City, Kansas, because we have a lot of college students from Cali College up there that come down to be in shows or to see shows here as well. So we try to reach out and involve a lot of the outlying communities besides just Ponca City.
We used to participate in the state competition.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while, but all being an all volunteer theater, we all kind of have our lives and day jobs, and it's hard. It gets harder sometimes to work in putting together a show and traveling with it to a competition.
Sure.
So would we love to do it again? Sure.
I have to brag. I was in the cast of The Curious Savage, and it won the state competition.
Wow.
And we went to Amarillo with our little outfit to compete, and we go slurping in there thinking we're hot stuff. And here comes another theater in this big old bus with their name painted on the side, and they get out and they've got on these satin jackets, matching, and we look at each other and go, oh boy.
I think ours were still at the cleaners.
If they didn't make it, they didn't make the trip. Yeah, understood. So what makes Ponca Playhouse unique among Oklahoma community theaters?
Karen, you want to go?
All right, top one.
Yeah, it is. I think one of the things that makes it unique for me is just the diversity of the actors and the directors. We've got some that have directed professional theater. We've got some that are not originally from Oklahoma. We have a husband and wife team that directs here. that are both they're directing this season, separate shows. They have, they're from, well, the wife is from Ark City, Kansas, but she and her husband spent a lot of time working in theater in New York. And they have moved back into Winfield, Kansas area, and they have committed a lot of their time and energy down here to the Ponca Playhouse. And so it's the ability to learn from all these unique people, unique backgrounds, and just the diversity of the actors and actresses that we have in our shows here. It's kind of a melting pot, and I think that really is not something you get everywhere.
Well, that's why I had trouble with the word unique, because I think that's pretty much the definition of all community theater.
Yeah.
I think we nailed it. I know I've been on stage with doctors and lawyers and nurses and CEOs, and I was a secretary. But it's a level playing field where you're out there on that stage. Everybody's equal. And I made absolutely my best lifetime relationships, friendships with the people I met through the Ponca Playhouse. And I absolutely cherish all of that. They're still my friends, still, and I hope always will be.
And since I got married 13 years ago this November, I have had the good fortune to appear on stage with my wife as husband and wife in Blithe Spirit. And then, she didn't play the dead wife. And she also directed me. She directed Shawshank Redemption 2 seasons ago, and I played the warden in that. So that was a lot of fun. I got to, she's always said, I want to have you be in one of my shows sometime so I can direct it. It was great. And she got to yell at me, and I couldn't hold it against her. So she was right. She's a good director. But again, it's those personal connections that you make doing this. We have had happy times. We've had times where there have been tears shed, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's just been a great experience.
My wife and I have been on stage together, but never as husband and wife. So that's congratulations. So transforming just a little bit and shifting gears a little bit, some of the past productions that we talked a little bit about, August Osage County, we've mentioned a couple of times, Steel Magnolias, The Addams Family. According to the history, you're known for balancing classics and contemporary works. We talked a little bit about that. Yeah. So for you, what are some of the standout productions that you think have defined the Ponca Playhouse?
I'm going to have to go to
your cheat. Yeah.
Well, I was in Steel Magnolias twice. I was Truly the first time when I was still cute and I had a cute little button, the hike jeans. And then a few years later, I was Weezer. But those were two of my favorite roles. Biloxi Blues was another one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Was it Rowena, the hooker? I said my favorite line I've ever said. It was, well, if you're going to do it from over there, cowboy, I'm going to have to make some adjustments. The Electra in, guys, what was that?
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, I was one of the 3 old strippers in Gypsy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
That was a memorable experience, and I well received show. I've had people still come up to me. That was a long time ago.
Wow.
For me, right after we got married, my wife's first show here was Young Frankenstein, and we really had a lot of fun. We sold out every performance for that. So a lot of our musicals do really well here on average, and I think that's true just about anywhere. But for me, I had just moved. I was living in Ponca City, but I had still had ties back to Stillwater. And so I had just wrapped Neil Simon's Rumors. And when we had our invited dress rehearsal for Rumors down in Stillwater, a group from the Ponca Playhouse came down to watch the show. And they said, hey, we're doing All My Sons, and you should try out for that, because it's where you live. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. So we struck Rumors on a Sunday afternoon in Stillwater. I drove home after the strike, and the next night after work, I showed up here at the Ponca Playhouse and I auditioned for All My Sons, and thinking nobody knows me here, so I'll get a small part. And I was cast as George Keller. So I went from Neil Simon slapstick comedy to Arthur Miller.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but that,
I don't think
shows like that, I've actually been in just about every Arthur Miller show we've done since then. But To Kill a Mockingbird was a special one for me.
so.
We'd had a great production of The Crucible that was very well received in town. Sound of Music, of course, I mentioned off before we got going here. Also, we've done The Humans, One Man, Two Governors, Shawshank Redemption. A lot of these shows have been standout productions, and really enjoyed being involved with them.
Is there anything that you guys have done that really kind of like brought the community together in a special way?
Well, this was off season, and we were needing a shot of money. And we came up with this idea to do a broken statue. We had a book that we went by, and then we had a script made out of that book, The Broken Statue, about the Marlins. And I was the producer, and I never worked so hard in my life. But we had people from different groups participate. We'd have meetings, and they'd put in their 2 cents worth, and it was a real collaboration. And it sold out every seat. We had to do an extra one, and then the next year we did it again. But it really gave us a boost. And it's the Marlins. It was about the statue that they uncovered that was broken to bits because somebody buried it.
Oh.
And it was a big deal. I love history of any kind. Local history probably is my favorite.
Yeah. And for those that aren't familiar with the Ponca City history, E.W. Marlin was one of the big movers and shakers, a big oil man here in Ponca City.
That's why we're here.
Yes, absolutely. Back turn of the 20th century, he was a rival of the Rockefellers and the Gettys, and as far as oil goes. And he built a mansion here, and he had an adopted daughter that he ended up marrying. It was a big scandal at the time. Leidy. And the statue was of Leidy Marlin that is referred to in the broken statue. And that statue was destroyed and buried, and it was found years later on the grounds. And this book was written about the statue, and the play came from it. And that's how the broken statue came to be. And it's a really neat story. And again, like Karen said, it was very well received. And I think because we had a lot of great turnout for that and sold out the performances because so many people had a connection. Some of them knew the Marlins, and especially Leidy.
And I had met her.
Oh,
I had. I took her shopping for groceries.
Wow. So yeah, that show had a big impact on the community with Ponca Playhouse.
It's always good when you can tie in local history and local traditions or whatever into the theater and present those stories, especially for a generation that doesn't know or understand what that was all about.
Right.
So that's really good. So we talked a little bit ago about all the murals around town. And, talk about community and everything. You guys seem to have a pretty interesting mural on the outside of your building as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we are located here in Ponca City on the corner of First and Oklahoma Avenue. And we are in a beautiful gray poupon mustard yellow building. And on the... Did you really?
I did.
Congratulations.
She's happy about that.
We have on our Oklahoma side of the building, which faces north, we have a large open blank space that has kind of bugged me and several other people for years. thinking we ought to come up with something that we could put in that spot, and something that would be something that would catch people's eye, and also be something to promote the Ponca Playhouse. And we wanted to do something that would tie in together to the history of Ponca City. And we go back to E.W. Marlin again, because when Mr. Marlin built his huge mansion, they call it the Palace on the Prairie. And it's open, the city owns it now, and it's open for tours, I think 7 days a week, except closed on Christmas and Thanksgiving, I think. Anyway, it's not a paid per advertisement.
Nice plug.
Yeah. But anyway, Mr. Marlin would bring in people from all over the country, and he would entertain them with lavish parties, and they would also bring in foxes and have European-style fox hunts on the grounds. And anyway, there are foxes around town to this day that are survivors of those original fox hunts, and they have thrived and flourished. And so the foxes have sort of become a little unofficial mascot for Ponca City. And there are a lot of fox murals around town. There are fox statues as well. I know Tulsa did penguins. I think there's buffalo and Bartlesville, or bison around businesses. And so Ponca City has sort of adopted the fox. And so we just got to thinking that it would be great to come up with some sort of mural that we could put in that location that would both promote the Ponca Playhouse and tie into the foxes. And so wonderful former board member and longtime Ponca Playhouse actor and contributor, Marla Cervantes. Marla, when she was on the board a few years ago, said, you know what, let's do it. And Marla started making phone calls. She started reaching out to people in the community and to people that have been involved with the Playhouse from all the way back to the beginning. And we received a grant for a portion of the mural. And we got a very talented artist, Teresa Sackett, here in town, who's done a few murals in the area besides this one, to do the actual mural. And then we raised private donations from former people involved with the Playhouse to fully fund this fox mural, which is on the side of the building, on the Oklahoma side of our building. And I have to throw in, they are talking about trying to extend the Heartland Flyer north from Oklahoma City, the Amtrak service, to Newton, Kansas. If that ever happens, in preparation for that, the city is actually revamping our old train station, which is just a half a block from the corner where the Fox mural is. And if we get that train station going and get passenger rail service coming through Ponca City, that mural is going to be one of the first things people see when they come to town.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I'd love it if that would finally ever happen.
So for those of you listening, you can find that mural on their website. We'll give that website out in just a little bit. And it's also will be the promotional photo for this episode as well. So just so everybody can kind of get an idea about that. So let's talk about, we've been talking about some of the past productions. Let's shift gears into our current season, which we brought up just a little bit earlier.
Right.
Now is Odd Couple is the opening of the 25-26 season. What else do you have going on?
Following the Odd Couple in November, we are doing Ms. Holmes and Ms. Watson Apartment 2B. It's by Kate Hamill. It's described as cheerfully desecrating the stories of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's being directed by Nathan Osterlund. And those show dates are November 14th through 16th and 21st through 23rd. So, great way to, you got family coming in early for the holidays. Come on out and catch the show. It's the 2 weekends leading up to Thanksgiving weekend.
There you go.
That way our actors are they're not casting the following show. They're all able to relax after strike and enjoy the holidays.
There you go.
Then we are doing the first of our 2 musicals. Did you want to take this?
No.
Okay. All right. We are doing A Year with Frog and Toad, which has been a favorite. It's been performed a couple of times at Northern Oklahoma College over Tonkawa and other local area theaters. And it's very well received. Beautiful story. It's being directed by Ryan Brown, and that show will be in mid-January, January 16th through 18th. and 23rd through 25th in 2026. That'll be our first show into the new year. We're following that with an oldie but goodie, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And that's directed by Emily Rose Parman, and it will be in March 20th through the 22nd, and March 27th through 29th. And then in the early versions of our season flyer, we've just had it listed as a musical. We have been patiently awaiting approval for this show. It's something that we've been wanting to do for several seasons, but there's always been traveling Broadway productions of it. And then to add to that, the show is actually in a revival on Broadway for the rest of this year. And the traveling Broadway production is coming to Tulsa in March of next year. And we're thinking like, oh my gosh, we had our board meeting 2 months ago. Actually 1 month ago.
Yeah.
We spent 30 minutes fretting over what are we going to consider our drop dead date, or if we haven't gotten approval to do this show, we're going to have to pivot and find another musical for our main May musical. And it just so happened our board president, who had submitted for this play, hadn't checked her email before she left Art City, Kansas to come to the board meeting. And so right about the time she left her home to come to our board meeting, we had gotten the approval from MTI. Our musical in May is going to be Mamma Mia.
I just wanted to let you know that the internet found out about that before y'all did, because these are my notes right there.
All right.
So
we actually got approval on it about 3 weeks ago, and we immediately paid for the show in its entirety, all the rights and royalties. So we wanted to make sure that nothing happened where we missed a payment and then couldn't do it. So that show is paid for. Our whole season is actually paid for right now. So we're happy about that.
Good. So are there any shows that you're most looking forward to in this season? Something that stands out to you?
I'm actually looking forward to The Odd Couple. And personally, I'm really looking forward to Mamma Mia. My wife is a huge ABBA fan, and she took me down to Oklahoma City shortly after we got married when one of the traveling productions came through. And I fell in love with the show.
Strangely, I think it's possibly curious, that's the better word, Ms. Holmes and Ms. Watson, apartment 2B. I've never seen it. I don't know much about it, but the whole concept of that just been crystal for me. I can hardly wait to see it.
I like when writers and stuff can take stories and put a new twist on things to where it's presenting great stories, but in a new way.
Yeah.
So I really like that. So yeah, it sounds very interesting. So
yeah, so we've got a great season lined up.
So is there a way that the community can come and support Ponca Playhouse, whether it be through sponsorship, volunteering, attending shows, whatever?
All of the above. Yeah, we always look for volunteers. We've got, of course, we hire our directors and we hire our stage managers, but everybody else it's all volunteer. Everything from the set building, ushering, concessions, costumes, props, box office, everybody is a volunteer. And so we're always looking. If somebody, you may not know how to hammer a nail into a board, but you may know how to sew a costume, or you may know how to, sell things at the concession stand. I mean, there's something for everybody to do. And we do pride ourselves on, last year we had Philip 66 being our 66th season. One of our board members, who's also our district attorney, we were sitting, what can we come up with for a season sponsor? And he's like, well, it's the 66th season. Has anybody asked Philip 66? And we're all like, duh. And so that happened pretty quickly, and they paid for our full season.
Awesome.
And it's always been supporting and stuff.
Absolutely. And we've always had great community support. We are still looking for sponsors for this season, both for season sponsorships and for show sponsorships. We have both. And then we also have advertising opportunities in our program. And our program ads are really inexpensive. They get seen by a lot of people because we not only print printed copies of the programs, but we also have digital copies that are available online. So it's pushed out onto the World Wide Web as well as just locally when you come to the Playhouse. And about a year and a half ago, well, actually last season was the first season that we partnered with Ludus. I know you're probably familiar with them. They are a ticketing company that was designed by theater people up in Michigan. And it's really a great platform for us. You have the ability not only to go online and buy a ticket, which a lot of theaters have, but you can actually, just like the big theaters in Civic Center Music Hall in Tulsa, Performing Arts Center in Tulsa, Civic Center Music Hall in Oklahoma City, the TPAC in Tulsa, you can actually select your seat. And you can buy season memberships, you can buy a ticket to a show, you can select your seat. We have all the different configurations. As soon as the directors let us know what their seating chart is going to look like, depending on how they configure the space for their show, we could have it up and people are able to buy tickets. And it's really, plus it's helped us with saving on production costs because we don't have to print as many tickets anymore. There are still people that love to have that ticket, that feel that ticket in their hand, and we're always going to be there for them. But the way people are doing it now is you get a digital ticket sent to your phone, or you can send it to your house and print the ticket and bring it in and we'll scan it. But a lot of people, it can be totally paperless if you want. And we've gone to that and it's really working. And we're, as we develop with Ludus, we can build in our volunteer base there as well in the future moving forward. They're even adding a concession element to it. So, but, and it really helps us gather data that we can use to help turn around and plan next season and make it even more special.
That's great.
Even though we are doing pretty well as far as sponsorships and ad sales and stuff, we could do better. But the thing that I would like to see our audience contribute to our theater is putting their butts in the seats.
Absolutely.
It is so important to a cast to know that they're performing to people. They've worked hard, and to have a whole section empty is kind of disheartening. And we could do better.
Yeah.
I run into people all the time with, didn't you used to be in a place? I go, yeah. Well, I haven't been in a long time. I said, just this morning at Silver Sneak.
We're still doing it.
We're still there. Come on. Why don't you try to attend at least one play this year? I'm going to nag her every time I see her now. People, why stop coming?
There is one, in an effort to get, you're always trying to find ways to attract an audience, but you're also trying to find ways to attract new audience members because as your patronage ages, they eventually will stop coming to the theater. And so you have to find ways to bring in younger audience members.
Right.
And that's true with just about any business, radio especially, that you live and die by your demographics in radio. And but one of the things we're going to do, because the economy has not been the greatest over the last several years, one of the things that we've been talking about, a lot of theaters are trying this in some form or fashion, is we're discussing the rolling out a maybe one evening or one performance of a show that's a pay what you can. And we're going to have probably a suggested minimum on that. But a lot of theaters are doing it. And a lot of theaters, community theaters, even some semi-professional theaters have set like a base price of $10. And so some people will just pay $10. But our normal ticket price, if you walk in the door and say, I'd like a ticket for The Odd Couple, if you're an adult, that ticket's going to cost you $20. But on a pay-as-you-can night, somebody might walk in and give you $40 or $50, and here, I want to take care of this. And so it's actually balancing out. And if it's a way, in my opinion, that we can attract new people, because some people see $20 as a barrier to entry.
So we used to do an invited dress. I don't know if we're doing that anymore. That kind of spread the word a little bit. But I don't think our ticket prices are too high at all.
No.
Come on.
And we have season tickets that start at $75. we have family plans, and then we have premium sponsorship plans where you can actually kind of go above and beyond. It's sort of a combination of tickets and then a donation to the theater. We're a 501(c), of course, so your donations are tax deductible. And we try to make it as easy as we can for people to come see a show.
So transition along that conversation, transition just a little bit. How do you go about, that's how you're bringing people in. How do you go about getting the word out? What does your advertising and marketing look like?
Well, we rely heavily on social media, and I still think that that's a good way to get word out pretty quickly. We actually we have a budget for every show that we use for advertising in our local newspaper, as well as our 4 radio stations here in town. It's not a huge ad buy, but we do have 4 stations here in town. And we run a schedule, production week, and we run a schedule leading into the second weekend on that as well. So
You often get them on the bank marquees, things like that.
We've got flyers that we can take out and get local businesses to hang inside their door and their window. A lot of great local business downtown on Grand Street, and we hope to have Odd Couple flyers in every one of their windows here within a few weeks. And one thing we're doing this year, pretty much every community I've ever been in has some sort of little coupon mailer that comes out quarterly. And there's one here that we are going to be running our season ad in, and we managed to get Mamma Mia's rights in time to include Mamma Mia in this. It's called K County Coupons magazine. It comes out quarterly, and it reaches over 22,000 homes here in K County.
Wow.
So we've taken out an ad in that, which will be coming out in early September, just in time for Odd Couple and for people that want to come up. We were selling season tickets last season into our November show. Okay. So we're trying to find new ways to reach out. And again, just getting out and being seen. We try to have a presence at a lot of community events. Oktoberfest, of course, happens after our season's already started, but we've been working on trying to have a presence there, having a presence at some of the other community events that happen throughout the year. And of course, we're members of the local Chamber of Commerce here, and the Chamber does a business after hours every month. And so that's another opportunity for us to get out and network, especially with other local businesses, and invite them to come and check us out. And, maybe they can't come see a show, but maybe they want to kick in a few $100s to help with paying for program printing or costumes, or just be a sponsor of a show. You, as the great philosopher Wayne Gretzky says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
So
that's right. So as we kind of start heading downhill on our interview time here, I've got a few what we call rapid fire questions.
Uh-oh.
So we're just going to throw out some questions. Just the first thing that comes off of the top of your head.
42.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right. So,
I wish I hadn't wasted that one so early.
I was going to say, you could put that one back in your pocket. So, okay. Favorite show you've ever worked on?
Noises Off. I'm sorry. Noises Off is a show I've always wanted to do, but instead I got to do Moon Over Buffalo. And that is the show I've loved absolutely the most. The cast was just everything. Everybody where you hope to be by opening night. This cast in this production we did we were together like that 3 weeks out from Tech Week.
Nice.
And it just grew from there.
Nice.
I did do Noises Off, and that has to have been one of my favorite booths.
I hear that a lot.
Weird. Rotating stage. Oh my God. It was fabulous.
Well, you kind of ate this one already. So, dream role or dream show that you would want to direct?
Ooh, that I would want to direct. That's a good one. It would have to be a comedy, and a good slapstick comedy. My wife directed a wonderful production a few years ago of 39 Steps. That was I have not laughed as hard at a performance as did during that show. Again, great director, great cast, everything came together. The timing was there, everything was, so it would have to be a show similar to that. And I would love to be able to direct one day. Whether I'll get to, I don't know, but
Never say never.
but I think it would have to be a comedy because I feel I've got a good sense of comedic timing, and I think I can help work with actors to see the vision that I have, and of course they're going to take it and make it their own. Of course,
I got an opportunity to direct, believe it or not. I was so proud. It was on Golden Pond.
Oh,
It was fabulous, and I couldn't lose. I had the best actors in the world. Don Jorgensen, Russell Hermanson. How do you beat that? She still calls him Yo Pooh when she talking to him on Facebook. So I don't want to go there. It sounds like I'm whining, but I always wanted to be in August, Osage County, and I did audition. But turns out I have, I'm trending, Todd, the Billy Joel disease. I have a normal pressure hydrocephalus, and I cannot memorize lines anymore.
Oh, no.
I can't retain them. It breaks my heart. But I wanted to.
you would have made a wonderful Violet.
Well,
Oh, you mean-
but your wife was fat. But anywho, that's a big disappointment. But I decided wanted to keep being supportive of the Playhouse because it's so important to my life. So I'm back on a board as of this year. See if I can contribute something. Probably not near to I don't have the energy left to be okay. The year I retired is the year that we were putting this place together, and the people that I usually work with were passing by on First Street going to work, and I was out front with a paint roller going like this and going, nee, 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 nee.
There you go.
This place has got my heart.
Good. Funniest on stage or backstage moment? She already had one ready.
Go ahead.
No, I don't. I got to the Brazier Museum, and I can't remember the name of the place. I came out with this dress on and my bra on the outside of the dress, and people fell on the floor. Another time, I played a drunk, and that was so fun, and I was staggering all over. Those were two fun moments for me with comedy. I love comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Had to be when I did Moon Over Buffalo. I played George Hay, and George spends half the show drunk and staggering around. And when the night of our final dress rehearsal, we had an invited audience, and as soon as my stage wife, and I were sword fighting and finished the scene, we come out, we sit down, and as soon as we sat down, I felt the seat of my pants completely let go. It was a 50-year-old pair of pants that they had put me in. And I had not only underwear on under that, but also a pair of what we called stunt boxers, because during Act 2, George ends up in his underwear. And I looked, and both of the costumers were sitting in the audience, and so I knew they weren't going to be able to help me until intermission. And when I said, well, I'm thinking in my head, the show's got to go on. We've got another hour until intermission. And so I stood up, and I looked like a white-tailed deer. And for everybody on that entire end of the stage, the audience that could see my white tail as I continued with my scene was just falling out of their chairs laughing. And one of the nights during the production run, one of the actors is supposed to try to get me dressed to play Cyrano de Bergerac. And we had my dress slacks that I was laying over a trunk, and he was trying to put the dress slacks on me, and they had suspenders. And so the idea was I put the slacks on. Another actor came in I was supposed to have a line with, and so I quickly threw the suspenders over my shoulder, zipped up, and went right down the stairs and gave my next line. Only the suspenders were twisted that night. And so when I stood up to throw it over my shoulder, I ended up almost injuring myself. But again, the show had to go on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's all we do. That's all we do.
Yeah.
One word to describe the Ponca Playhouse.
Important.
Meaningful.
Very good. Now something a little different. Your go-to snack during Tech Week.
Well, I would probably have to say lately it's Dot's pretzels.
I love those things. I like the nut.
The garlic parm, the best garlic parm, anything.
Oh, yeah. So
Apples.
apples. And that's always a good one, especially for vocal and everything. That's really good. So, okay. So if someone wanted to get involved with Ponca Playhouse, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can several ways. They can, of course, reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram. Just send us a message and one of us will get back to you. There's between the board members, most of us are able to respond pretty quickly when we see a message. You can also shoot us an email. Our website address, of course, is poncaplayhouse.com. And there's a way to send a message through the Playhouse. And I'm actually looking for our phone number now, thanks to modern technology. So you know the number? Good. Let me have it. Because normally we, thanks to technology, I just store the number and tell it call the Playhouse.
We don't know anybody's number anymore.
But yeah, our phone number here at the Playhouse is 580-765-5360. Just like Karen said, I should have just listened to Karen again.
Yeah.
But and if nobody's here, just leave a message because again, those thanks to modern technology, the voicemail goes straight to our email and we get it right away. We don't have to be here to physically check the messages. Technology is wonderful and it works. And but we are certainly always happy to have people here for volunteers to audition for shows. We've got several first-time actors this season, I know, that are planning on coming out to try out for performances and productions. And again, always looking for volunteers. If you're handy with carpentry and things like that, we are in the process of patching up some things that have come askew in this 67 or 68-year-old building that we're in. So we'll find out.
We've had to mention another play that was my favorite, and that was Dixie Swim Club.
Oh.
It was the last play directed by Joanne Muchmore, an iconic part of the arts in our town. And it was special friendships made, and her last and we didn't know.
Yeah.
She was ill.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes.
So let us know.
So Odd Couple, again, opening September 12th.
Correct.
How do people go about getting tickets?
You again the easiest way is to go to our Playhouse website, poncaplayhouse.com. You can click a button that'll take you right to our Playhouse page on Ludus, and tickets will go on sale. I think it'll be about another week and a half before tickets go on sale. We will definitely get word out on social media and radio and newspaper when the tickets will be going on sale. But we usually put them on sale at least 2 weeks out from the production date. And season ticket holders actually get to pick their seats about a week before they go on sale to the general public. So if you'd really like to lock in and get good seats for Mamma Mia and Odd Couple and all the other shows we're doing this season, best way to make sure you're going to get the best seat is to get that season ticket. And the season membership information is right there for you as well at poncaplayhouse.com.
And we'll have all those links available in the show notes for this episode. So, Todd, Karen, thank you very much for being a part of this. We very much appreciate it.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for opening the door for us and for allowing us to share this information with the rest of Oklahoma. We hope that it again helps you with your efforts. That's kind of what we're here to do. Right. So, any parting words of wisdom for our listeners?
If you can't make it to see one of our shows this season, A, why not? But B, I encourage you, wherever you are, wherever you're listening from, find a local theater and go and check out what they're doing. Is it going to be Broadway caliber? Probably not. But you know what? You're going to be pleasantly surprised at the level of talent you've got in the community that you live in that may have been there your entire life and you just weren't aware of it. So I would encourage you to get out and support the arts in any way you can. And if you find yourself coming through Ponca City on one of our show weekends, we would love to see you. We would love to shake your hand and meet you and say, welcome to Ponca City and welcome to Ponca Playhouse.
Great advice. Great advice. So thank you guys for being a part of this. For everybody else listening at home, thank you for giving your time to listen to our show. Just as Todd said, no matter what you do, continue to support the arts.
Oklahoma on stage, the spotlight burns so bright. Every tale and song, a starry guiding light. So tune in, folks, there's much to explore. Oklahoma on stage, let's give it encore.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.